For years, when you thought about electric cars, you probably thought of one name, right? Well, in the world of EVs, there's been a massive shakeup. The king has been dethroned, and today we're going to break down exactly how it happened.
So, let me ask you a quick question. Who is the #1 electric vehicle seller in the entire world? Go ahead, think of the name. You got one?
Well, surprise, it's not Tesla anymore. Yep, that's right. The long-reigning champ has officially been overtaken. The new leader in the global EV market is a Chinese company called BYD, and we're about to dive into the brilliant strategy they use to pull off this incredible upset.
So, just how big of a deal is this? Let's get right into the hard numbers, because the data tells a pretty stunning story about how fast this all went down. Check this out. In just the first 9 months of 2025, BYD sold a whopping 1.6 million pure electric vehicles. Now, to put that into perspective, that's nearly 400,000 times more cars than Tesla sold in the same period. This wasn't a slow and steady win, this was an absolute sprint to the top. And all those sales, well, they translate directly into a huge slice of the market. BYD now controls almost 16% of the global EV market, pushing Tesla firmly into second place. This isn't just a small lead, it's a major statement. So the real question is, how on earth did they do it? And that brings us to the heart of this explainer, the strategy. Honestly, for anyone studying business, what BYD did is a total masterclass in how to take over a fast-growing industry. So let's break down their winning blueprint, piece by piece.
Now, BYD's success didn't come from just one magic trick. It's built on 4 super smart, interconnected pillars: a massive range of products, really aggressive pricing, total control over their supply chain, and some key technology they developed themselves. Let's start with the first one, what they're actually selling. So you've got this fascinating contrast here. On one side, you have Tesla's very focused approach, a few models, all aimed at the premium high-end market. But on the other side, you have BYD's something for everyone strategy. They offer a huge variety of cars, pure EVs, hybrids, you name it, at almost every price point you can imagine. They're making EVs accessible to the masses, not just the wealthy, and that has been an absolute game changer.
And this ties directly into their second pillar, just killer pricing. BYD basically turned affordability into a competitive weapon. They consistently price their vehicles lower than the competition, especially in those big, fast-growing markets. Because of that, they've become the go-to default choice for millions of people buying their very first EV. But you gotta be asking, how can they possibly afford to be so cheap? Well, the secret is a classic business strategy called vertical integration. Simply put, instead of buying your parts from other companies, you own the factories that make the parts. Now, this is a risky move. It costs a ton of money up front, but for BYD, the payoff has been massive. And it all comes down to the batteries, the single most expensive component in any EV. By making their own, they have incredible control over both cost and supply. And listen, the batteries they're making aren't just any old batteries. This brings us to their technological advantage, their secret sauce, the proprietary Blade battery. This isn't just a cool innovation, it's one of their core competitive weapons.
The Blade battery uses a special chemistry called LFP. Now, you don't need to be a scientist. The key thing to know is that it doesn't use expensive and sometimes volatile metals like cobalt. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means the battery is much safer, way less likely to catch fire, and it has a longer lifespan. But crucially for their strategy, it is significantly cheaper to produce. And that is the magic that lets them keep their prices so low.
All right, so picture this. A company with a wide range of affordable cars, all powered by cheap, safe, in-house technology, starts expanding across the globe. What do you think happens next? A total shockwave that forces the entire auto industry to sit up and pay attention.
The established players are now completely on the defensive. We're seeing Tesla and other big automakers being forced to slash their prices and rush to get new, more affordable models out the door. BYD's rise didn't just put them on top, it has fundamentally changed the game for everyone.
And believe me, this trend is not slowing down. Projections show that BYD is on track to become the first car manufacturer in history to sell over 2 million electric vehicles in a single year. This isn't just a temporary blip, this is the new reality of the EV market. Okay, So let's boil all of this down into the most important lessons. For anybody out there studying strategy, this is basically your cheat sheet for understanding how to dominate a modern, high-tech market. So, let's quickly recap the blueprint. First, accessibility wins. A broad product range will beat a niche one. Second, own your supply chain. Vertical integration, especially for something critical like batteries, gives you massive control over costs. Third, use technology as a cost weapon. Innovation isn't just for making things faster, it can make them more affordable. Fourth, price to win. Being the most affordable option helps you build a dominant lead fast. And finally, don't forget that government support can be a huge tailwind for growth.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future. BYD has completely rewritten the rules, right? They've proven that you can win the EV market from the bottom up with accessibility and affordability. So how are the premium brands, the ones who built their entire identity on being exclusive and high performance, going to adapt to survive in this new world? The race is far from over.